Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I have an interesting video for you all. I will be ranking Dialtown songs based on how appropriate they would be to play at a funeral. Now, if you know Dialtown, you might be thinking to yourself, how could any of its songs be funeral appropriate? Well, that's what we're here to find out. Think of this as an experiment, but we aren't checking to see how good the songs actually are, just how people would react to them in a serious setting such as a funeral. The tier list goes from F to S, and where you might guess F is least appropriate and S is most appropriate. Obviously, there are too many Dialtown OSTs to fit all in one video, so I'm just going to be doing all the main themes. Let's get started. The Dialtown main theme song is not really all that funeral appropriate, but it's more easily digestible than all the other songs. I don't think it would turn too many heads if it started playing from the speakers at the reception, but probably a bit of pushback at the actual funeral from the funeral attendees. This is why I'll give it a B tier for not being completely horrible. There's something innately sugary sweet and a bit annoying about the nature theme. That's just my opinion, but this is just straight up bad and for a funeral nonetheless. I know my grandmother would yell, "Turn that godforsaken music down," and among other things I can't say on YouTube. I love my grandma, D tier. I think you all can agree when I say this is an F tier, like there's no doubt about it, it's just that bad. I put Uptown and Downtown together because they sound pretty similar. They have this kind of jazzy, neutral vibe to them that I think would be pretty fitting in a funeral playlist, if that even exists. Perfect for the reception, but not so much the actual funeral, which is why I give this an A tier instead of an S tier. Tender Stroking is a bittersweet and poignant theme song. I think if this were to be played at a funeral, it would immediately put everyone in a solemn but loving mood. It's just perfect, S tier. At a glance, this is just a funky little song, but if you've played through the game, you know this is tied to some pretty freaky stuff. But, like MCR once said, we all want to party when the funeral ends. And if your family's cool like that, this is an excellent song for the after party. But it's awful for the funeral itself, which is why I give this a C tier. Ska has no place anywhere, F tier. The only reason I won't give this an F tier is because it's kind of heat. It's definitely an acquired taste, and terrible for a funeral, but I think this deserves a D tier. Like Uptown and Downtown, there is something jazzy about this song that I think would fit well in a funeral reception. The only difference is that this brings a whole different vibe than Uptown and Downtown. It has a beginning of an end kind of vibe that just feels out of place at a funeral, which is ironic because funerals are all about celebrating an end. B tier. I'm just gonna give it to you straight. The hobo theme song would be god-awful at a funeral, but goddamn is it a banger. I mean, just listen to this clip. I can't give this any lower than a C tier because of how much aura would emanate from the dead body. Randy's theme is so silly goofy. So silly goofy, in fact, that it should not ever be played at a funeral. Also, I know a bunch of you in the comments are going to correct me that Randy's theme isn't called Randy's theme. I'm aware that it's called Randy Mediocre Swan Wrestler, but I didn't feel like writing that whole essay every time on my notes for this video. Just for that, I'm giving it a D tier. I am giving this theme a B tier, only for the sole fact that you can present the dead body / remains in a Balthazar machine and play this song for jokes. Just kidding, don't do that. Like the Uptown and Downtown themes, there is some sort of neutrality to the song that would fit in at the reception, but it's a little iffy at the actual funeral. Actually, scratch that. If the person that died was good at computers, or something to that effect, this song is a 10 out of 10 to play. A tier. This is what our finished tier list looks like. That's the end of this video. I hope you guys had as much fun watching it as I had making it. Be on the lookout for part 2, and if there are any specific themes you guys want to hear in the second part, that haven't been already mentioned here. I'll be sure to put them in. Thanks for watching.